This video is not sponsored by White Claw.
All right, so tell me what you got to do when you come from Canada to the U.S. to visit your boyfriend Adam. Not me, guys. Other Adam.
So you can't fly without a negative COVID test as of right now, but in November I'm gonna need to show like my proof of vaccination.
So you won't be able to even board a plane leaving Canada unless you're vaccinated fully.
Even within Canada or anywhere, you can't.
So they're basically full mandate.
Yeah, they're basically gonna keep wherever you live. Like if you're in Ontario, BC, wherever you are.
That's crazy.
You can't travel unless you drive.
That's crazy.
But coming back, you need to also have a test like to show like a PCR test, which is like $200.
So when you return back to Canada, you got to bring a $200 PCR test, even though you're fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you're not vaccinated, as of right now, you have to quarantine for 14 days.
So you can go back in the country by air.
Yeah.
But you'd have to quarantine.
Yep.
And where do you stay? Is it your place or is it government hotel?
Right now it's your place, but before it was a government like hotel.
Right. I heard about this, and I heard people were getting like assaulted and stuff. Some woman in Canada got sexually assaulted in some Canada government facility.
I didn't hear about that.
And that's why I think they ended that policy. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Okay, so you go into your home for 14 days. How do they know that you're staying home?
So they say that they're gonna send like someone to come and like check up on you every like so often. They never did that. They never did that to me, but I've had like friends and family that like said that they have like come and knock on the door, but they're not.
Is it just random spontaneous checks?
Yeah, they won't even tell you like what time they're coming at, and it's also like not even like border security or a police officer. It's literally like a volunteer.
So they knock on your door nowhere, and they're like, "Are you here?"
Yeah, they check your passport and they take a picture of it, and that's it.
Oh my god, this is terrifying. So they're basically tracking you when you're in this quarantine now.
Essentially, yeah.
Wow. And what's the penalty if you were to, leave and go out and do something?
I'm not sure. My friend got caught like coming back from somewhere as the people were at her door, and they just gave her a warning. They didn't really give her a ticket or anything.
Okay.
You also have to download an app coming back into Canada. It's called like ArriveCan, and you have to log it every single day for 14 days, saying like your symptoms. If you have like a fever or not, you just say yes or no.
So you have to literally go into your phone and just
basically
volunteer this personal medical information.
Yep.
Sounds like North Korea.
This sounds, we're becoming North Korea.
So when they had the hotel like quarantine, that was only if you flew back into Toronto, but if you drove across the border like Buffalo, like which is what I do,
right,
you could avoid it.
So if you drive in, then you don't have to quarantine?
No, you still have to quarantine, but you wouldn't have to do the hotel when that was still mandate. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But you'd only have to stay in the hotel for 3 days and a negative COVID test, and you can go home.
Okay.
But think about all the money she's spending.
No, we're gonna make you debut on the channel. Here he is.
So think about all the money she's spending when she could just prove that she's COVID negative before and after, and you can't drive in a car. The thing that gets me is you can't drive in a car, a metal box by yourself, a mask, whatever, negative, vaccinated. You have to take a taxi or a plane with other people because it's about your health.
It's ridiculous.
Doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense.
Money. Think about all
they lost
the money people are spending because they can't drive, so people are spending all of these flights. And
then think about how much gas mileage is going to go up in the country now if everyone has to unvaccinated have to drive everywhere.
They're also losing money not doing this. Like all the snowbirds that come to the U.S. and spend hundreds of dollars, and people who have RVs, they have to like ship the RVs over to like somewhere like Florida and then fly there.
It's $3.55 in Pennsylvania. They bumped it another 10 cents up yesterday.
It's
Wow.
expensive, and it's the most expensive.
Yeah, it's $3.20 now in Florida. It went up a little bit since last week. Last week I found $2.99. Couldn't find any $2.99 today.
March 2020, $1.87.
Ours is the most expensive it's been.
How much?
Well, it's different. So it's like it's $1.44 a liter.
Per liter.
Yeah.
Right.
But before, like when quarantine first started back in like 2020, it was like 85 cents, and now it's $1.44. And it was like staying in like $1.30 to $1.35 for the past like few months, but now it's pretty high.
So if you could speak to Justin Trudeau directly to his administration and look at the camera when you deliver this, what would you say to Justin?
Tell him to go f himself.
Now let's do the PG-13 version. What would you say to Justin?
He needs to resign.
He needs to resign.
Yeah.
He never will though.
He won't.
He's power hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing blackface and he's power hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Freaking clown world.
I will tell you, so I will tell you my quick take on just everything I believe in. I just want my freedoms. Let me work, let me do my things, leave me alone.
That's right.
Don't tell me what to do.
They're firing government workers unless they're vaccinated and giving them unpaid leave.
So they're firing now
Government
workers?
Yeah, unless they're vaccinated, and if they're not, they can't even work from home if they're not vaccinated.
So then how do they survive?
They have nothing.
Government handouts?
Nothing. No, they won't get. They'll get unpaid leave.
So they'll be ineligible for government handouts.
Essentially, yeah.
That's crazy. Do you think Canada is a sneak peek into America? Do you think that we're on that path? Or do you think because
I don't
of our
think
crimes-
anytime soon.
You don't think so, right?
I don't know.
Wouldn't shock me because 8 months into this new ordeal, or it's been 9 months now, right? And a lot has changed, and people, and I've had close people tell me, oh, nothing that major will change. Everything's weaker and everything's more expensive. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Nothing's improved. Nothing's improved.
so, I remember when I was a kid growing up, you were taught to love your country, and I love that. You were taught to just, out of routine, stand up for your national anthem when you saw the flag, all that stuff. Military, everything was strong. Now they want you to like look at it as like an embarrassment.
Right? Sad.
I want kids one day, but I'm also kind of glad they're not going through the schooling right now. So, yeah, it's disgusting.
Do you think you'd homeschool kids at this point? You and your beautiful girlfriend, you think you guys are gonna homeschool your kids?
Right now, I'm not opposed to it.
You could do pod learning, where parents pool their money and then hire a teacher for their children, so they have more control over, the itinerary.
I haven't put much thought into it, but I don't like what's being indoctrinated. I actually have a little sister. She tells me she's
How old is she?
she's 12. She's like in 6th grade maybe. She tells me all the time that they make me watch CNN at school.
They make her watch CNN.
The teacher doesn't teach; they make them watch CNN.
That's their teacher.
That's their method.
So CNN is now their teacher.
Sit there, watch CNN, and that's the truth. That's what their teachers are telling them.
Right. And what is CNN's tagline? The most trusted name in news.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
And the kids will eat this up and believe that.
They want them to become weak, and they want that victim mentality.
Right.
Fear.
Right.
Why can't we be proud? Why can't we be like united? I don't know.
And didn't someone in the government recently say that the parents should not be the primary stakeholder in their children's education? Wasn't that said recently? That went viral. Isn't that crazy? The government said they don't want parents being the primary stakeholders in their children's education.
That's really scary.
Isn't that ridiculous? So
It's also scary for teachers.
right? Like, who should be the primary stakeholder in your kids? Should be the parents.
Yeah.
And they're trying to remove that. It's sad. Well, thank you for being on my channel. We appreciate your words. You want to shout out your socials, or you want to stay off the radar?
I'll stay off the radar.
It's your body, your choice, okay? you want to shout out your socials?
I'm gonna stay off the radar, but hey, man, be free, my sheeple.